Here we go. That's better. Hey, I'm streaming live. Hey guys, so I'm doing multi-stream, so I don't have access to the chat room since I'm not doing specifically YouTube at the moment. There is a way I can fix that. I just have to go home and like spend some time looking up URLs and how to patch things in, but no biggie, we'll figure it out eventually. In the meantime, I'm going to have limited access to the chat room. With that said, I can still talk. Hey, Susan. So, like I said, limited access to the chat room. But some access. Yeah, happy Friday to everyone. So, as we speak right now, there's a protest going on in front of Twitter headquarters. And it is a censorship, blah, 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 thing where everyone's dressed in black and there's someone out there with a megaphone saying that Twitter is their overlords and watching over them, and they're handing out tickets for anyone who thinks for themselves, which I think how protests should be. It should be, some level of like humor and tongue-in-cheek, mixed in with a bit of absurdity. So I think it's a good path. It's a good way to get your message across and not disrupt people's day or not, completely overshadow your event with rocks and sticks and shit, which is what we're going to have happen tomorrow. So yes, tomorrow is I like to call it a demonstration because I don't believe you should protest against things. You should support things rather than protest against them. But, it's part of the lexicon and part of the vernacular, so we just say protest. But yes, tomorrow is the event in San Jose, which is scheduled and reported as a demonstration against pedophilia in Hollywood, which is coinciding with another event, a protest against far leftist extremist violence. Yeah, far left extreme violence. Yeah, something along those lines. And of course, when you mention the term leftist violence, you bring out people who commit leftist violence. So there will be a counter protest where everyone is telling everyone that the initial demonstration of people against pedophilia and political violence, that those people are Nazis, white supremacists, and pedophiles. Which is, I actually like it. To be totally honest, I kind of like that they come out with that consistent label because it is so absurd. It is utterly absurd. Especially when you see a group of Hispanics, LGBT people, black people, Asian people all gathered together, and then someone is screaming at them that you guys are white supremacists and you support white supremacy. It weakens their argument so much, and they have yet to find a calling to say anything otherwise. I mean, that is the best that they have, because you can't. It's difficult for groups like that to debate on the message. They can't say that. There's nothing they can say that would explicitly say like, oh, well, you guys are against pedophilia, so we're against you. Apparently diversity is white supremacists and Nazis' greatest strength. Oh, of course. I mean, we see this all the time. It's like I said, it's amusing to me. But then again, what these really are, in my opinion, is it's much, much less about political ideology and more about anarchy. And these people admit to be anarchists, and that's fine. Have your anarchy. Just leave me out of it. Like, do your little anarchy party somewhere else. But another thing that I'm noticing is it really just turns into like anti-white gatherings. Where they just scream at white people that you're white, therefore you're wrong. Because of the color of your skin, you are a bad person, and You are privileged, therefore everything that you have in life you took from somebody else because of your skin color, and that's the only way that you were ever able to accomplish anything. And if you weren't able to accomplish anything, then good, because you didn't deserve it because you're white. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I don't know about you guys. My entire life I've been told to not judge people by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. I've been told to not judge people by their race, by their sexuality, by their gender, by the clothes they wear, by how they look, by who they associate with. These are the teachings that I have been taught consistently my entire life. So no amount of poking and prodding or trying to convince me otherwise is going to change my mind on that level. I don't care if you're white, black, Asian, Mongolian. I don't care if you're from Istanbul, Iran, Saudi Arabia. Just be a good person. That's all I ask of people. And just because you're white doesn't necessarily mean you took something from someone to get where you're at. Or it depends on how you define that. I mean, I think in essence, like, everybody takes from somebody, sometimes unintentionally. For instance, have I ever gotten a job over someone else? Yes, I have. Did I take that job from them? One could argue that. One could say that I took that job, or you could say that I was the best qualified for the position. So which is true, you know? And of course, if you live in a victimhood mentality, then you would rather say that, I didn't get that job because you were there. You know, I'm the victim because of your presence. Well, I don't buy that, and I don't buy any form of victimhood. It's a cop out, and it's lazy. It's so lazy. So I did want to talk about censorship at Twitter today. So yes, there's the protest going on, but also I noticed they gave a blue check mark, verified, to the young lady whose name I can't remember right now, who recently got hired by the New York Times, who has a shit ton of anti-white tweets, and I believe she says like white people should. Sarah Jane, yeah, got some people. Oh yeah, but I believe she said something along the lines of white people should like live underground. That she wakes up thinking of ways that she can mess up old white men's day. Bullshit like that. So she got verified, which, in case you don't know, that is the check mark of approval on Twitter that you are a awesome person and we like you, and you get put into a new category of like good stuff. And likewise, so a lot of people are very upset about her tweets. I mean, because they are blatantly racist, and I don't support racism. In fact, just today I put a tweet out where a Democratic Congresswoman, I believe she was a candidate, I have to go back and look at it, she said that people shouldn't vote for a Ching Chong, referring to her political rival. That's racist. I don't think anyone anywhere could say that that's not racist. And anyone who brings up that bullshit, they're like, well, black people can't be racist. F that noise. If you call somebody a Ching Chong and you're referring to someone who's Asian, then that is racist. So I call it out on both sides. So Sarah gets verified on Twitter. And other people during that time frame, when she was a hot topic, were reposting her tweets. I personally think that it's great this stuff happens, that the more exposed people for the better. Oh, absolutely. I know. Believe me, when we go into November, oh God, it's going to be the same way that most people on the left were utterly blindsided by what took place at the last presidential election. I believe it's going to happen the exact same way, if not more so. So the polls are very clear that the approval of the president keeps increasing by all poll accounts, not by some like far right polls or by some like bullshit stuff. His approval rating is increasing by even the most liberal of polling numbers. His numbers at 45% right now as a whole, 38% or 37% in the African American community, which is almost double from last year. And it makes you wonder. We see the constant attacks every day by the media. We see, the big hogs at Twitter, silencing voices, the type of algorithms that they put in. I believe they exposed one where if you have Trump in your profile and you follow like X number of people, that you automatically be put in like a shadow ban position. They say they're not shadow banning, but it's obvious what they're doing. So there's that. But in regards to Sarah's tweets, other people were retweeting and reposting her tweets, but all they did was change from white to black or Asian or Jewish, the tweets that she made, and those people got banned or suspended. And eventually everything got worked out. Probably the worst one was Candace Owens, where she got banned, and then Jack had to, unban her and apologize. But those tweets are still up. So she hasn't deleted them. So, clearly, Twitter is okay with blatantly racist, anti-white propaganda. And that's fine, if that's what they want to allow on their platform, but they can't say that they support free speech if they allow discrimination against certain races. Just because they're white does not make it any less painful. And here's the thing, it's like, what really bothers me about these situations is you never know where somebody is, which is why I don't insult people, ever, 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 ever. I don't call people fat, I don't call them stupid, I don't call them none of those things. And the reason why is you never know the mental state of somebody, and you never know when that day is somebody's day, where they've had it, and they either lash out at somebody, fight somebody, hit somebody, shoot somebody, or kill themselves. And clearly, if we follow the logic of like leftists, that words are violence, that words are equal to violence, or that, words can trigger people, then it's safe to say that if someone who isn't entirely there, or fragile, be they left or right of the spectrum, Republican or Democrat, conservative or liberal, if you say something about them or their race or their community or their religion, they can be triggered. And they could lash out, or they might harm someone or harm someone else. I'm using that as the logic that they use. Vincent, social media platform providers must remain neutral.
At last, the observer comes forward.
Thank you so much for the follow. I believe that's on... Oh, no, not my burrito. Thank you so much for the follow. But, I mean, that's leftist ideology, is it not? Saying that words are violence, right? So should we not adhere to the same terminology from the left and the right? If you say that words have power and that discrimination can harm people and can lead to negative effects, then we shouldn't do that to anybody at all. And that's the area that I'm coming from. And the very fact that Twitter thinks it's okay to discriminate against white people, or that it's okay for other people to do so, or it's other people to make racist comments, as long as they're towards white people, that's a problem. And I don't feel comfortable supporting a platform like that. You got to pick one or the other. Like either free speech is out there and it's free and you can say what you want, or these people aren't policy holders, they're activists. Let's see, Vincent, it's easy to support free speech of people that you agree with. Well, this is why I support free speech of people that I don't agree with. That's hard. That's the difficult part. It's extremely difficult to support the speech of actual Nazis, not these fake Nazis. Not everyone that gets labeled a Nazi. Not that, guys, you guys got to understand there's no such thing as Nazis anymore. I mean, well, there are, but not like you think. There's yes, the Unite the Right rally happened, the one last year, which turned out really bad. Yes, there's real racists out there, David Duke and the like, and Richard Spencer and Nathan Domingo and shit. But even those people, I think, are bullshit Nazis. Real Nazis don't let you know who the fuck they are. Real Klan members don't let you know who the fuck they are. Alright? Them niggas be in, military-like compounds. Ooh, there are F-15s flying nearby. That's kind of cool. They're too far away for you to see, but I'm looking at F-15s past me. But real Nazis ain't on Twitter. Real Nazis ain't on Facebook. They're not out there recruiting on social media platforms. They recruit at bars. They recruit at libraries. They recruit in person. They recruit throughout their friends. And they are far more sinister and powerful in the shadows than they ever would be out in public. The whole new racism thing, I'm sure you heard about the Black Democratic... Yeah, no, I was just talking about... Yeah, Teagle, I was just talking about the Democratic Party leader who called her political rival a ching chong. Said, don't vote for a ching chong. I bet you she still has a Twitter. They're not going to ban her. So, and of course we have the judge yesterday that said that Twitter can be sued since they advertise as a platform for free speech, but they keep banning people. It is a double standard, and it's a dangerous double standard. As I was just describing, you don't know where people are mentally, physically, emotionally, all those things. So if you start coming out with anti-white rhetoric, everyone just assumes that white people can take it. And I don't know if they can or can't. But I know that there's a lot of white liberals out there that say that anything that happened toward black people, that we are so fragile and need to be protected, which I don't believe. But if we follow that logic, that, you can't say shit about black people, can't call us the N-word. Obviously, you can't call us the N-word. But, people will say that, people are discriminating against African Americans, and mentally they can't take it. They need to be protected. It needs to be supported. Okay, that's fine. But why can't you extend that same level of support and defense towards white people or Jewish people or Asians or any other denomination or race or...
Attention, train 150 approaching.
Train 150 approaching. So why can't you extend that? It's because they have this assumption that, they're white and they're privileged, therefore, just because someone says something racist to a white person doesn't mean it actually hurts them because they're privileged. They can handle that. I'm like, you said the Nazis were feds? Yeah. Well, speaking of the feds, anybody catch the story about the Muslim compound out in Texas? Was it Texas? Or was it Arizona? I think it was Arizona. New Mexico. Anybody hear about that shit? Because the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about it very much. So, all right, listen, y'all. This is legit. It's all real legit. If you don't know about the story, go look it up. There is a Muslim New Mexico, there's a Muslim compound. What these dudes is out there training children to be school shooters. All right? Remember after 9/11, we were all worried about Muslim sleeper cells and shit. Remember that? Oh, we all forgot about that shit, right? So, legit compound of Muslim extremists are training children to be school shooters. They find a body. Sorry, train's here. Hold on. So when I get an actual real platform someday, I'm gonna do meetups at the train station. BW in the house. Alright, as soon as the train leaves, I'll go back to the story. Trains are awesome, by the way. I understand why kids like trains so much. Like they're beautiful and they're awesome and they're big and massive and old relics of technology that, you know, we don't really appreciate much anymore. Okay, so as I was saying, these Muslim extremists have a legit sleeper cell compound out in the middle of New Mexico where they're training children to be school shooters. They find a body of a child on the property, dead.
Train 155 approaching.
They find a body of a child. They arrest them. The judge lets them go on a super low, like, bail. And then the police destroy all the evidence. Does not sound like some CIA shit to y'all? Really, yo. Really. Muslim extremists planning shootings. A dead baby. A dead body. Well, a dead kid. 3-year-olds. Whatever. You know, dead kid on the property. Nobody goes to jail. And then the authorities destroy all the evidence. This isn't like some weird ass like 20K bullshit bail. Utterly bullshit bail. This sounds like some CIA shit to me. Like it's not a conspiracy theory. Like this shit was on front page on MSN and Yahoo News. Like real talk. One more train. Train break. I love train break. Man. $20,000 bail. Really? A terrorist cell on U.S. soil. Terrorists training children to commit attacks on U.S. soil. They find a dead body and nobody goes to jail, and the authorities destroy all the evidence. Really? That's why I don't trust shit no more. That's why I don't trust nothing no more, man. This is utterly ridiculous. Which makes me wonder, who approved this, right? Like, we know the government's up to some shit, right? So were these guys being protected and then like the locals got involved and like fucked it up? Like the feds had something planned? Was this something in the works for November? For the next election cycle? Like right before the election? Oops, a terrorist attack. Just so the Fed, because, you know, I think it's pretty clear, like the Fed, well, Donald Trump is really protective of like police, law enforcement and shit. And they're probably looking for like an excuse to say like, see, you need us. You need us to protect you. From Georgia, it's only locals with power. Oh yeah. I just don't see how you can find a dead body somewhere and like nobody goes to jail. Man, you can find a dead dog in my house and I'd probably go to jail for a long time with no bail. Receiving backlash after handing out what feels like a weak amount of bail, and 5 suspects accused of training children to conduct school shootings and handle weapons. Dude, motherfuckers go to jail for like letting their kids go to the playground by themselves, right? Dumb shit. Dumb shit. Utterly disturbing. And the thing is, like, who do you blame, right? Like, where do you point the finger? Because no one really knows. Like I said, is this a federal thing? Is it a local thing? Is this all the way up to the CIA? No, this is a chicken bake from Costco. It is carbs wrapped in, or chicken, bacon, and cheese wrapped in bread and more cheese. With Italian dressing inside.
At last, the observer comes forward.
Thank you so much for the follow. Unfortunately, you guys on Twitch, I can't see that chat room. I think I'm only looking at the YouTube chat room right now. Deep shit, deep state shit. That's what that the fuck that is. That's some deep state shit. I know everyone laughs about it. Like, oh, there's no such thing as a deep state. Oh no, there's no such thing as like a globalist agenda. Man, see, we need Alex Jones right now, y'all. Oh, the wasp isn't bothering me today. Oh, dude, that was fucked up, yo. I wish I had like done that on Twitch, because like that would look so cute, like doing a VOD of like me just running from a wasp. That was me the whole time. I might get that wasp away from me. But yeah, that sounds like deep state shit to me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in November. Like, I'm calling it right now. I think the locals like accidentally broke something up that they weren't supposed to touch, and they didn't want people like, fucking it up. So they went back and like covered their tracks. Dude, man, the very fact that they found a body on the property and nobody's answering for it is some fucking bullshit, man. And where are the protests, yo? Like, for real. How much you want to bet? I bet you everything in my bank account right now that had these been like a compound of like white NRA members, oh, this shit would have been broadcasted everywhere. Everywhere if it had been white NRA members. Dude, all over the place. CNN would have been on this shit. It's like, see, we need to ban guns. We need more gun control. Like, how could they do this? Oh, they murdered a child on their property. Boo! Boo! No, because Muslim people like, well, Muslims are crazy, so yeah, we give them a pass. And that's what I'm getting at, man. Like, it should be, the law is the law, right? Law is the law. Follow the damn law. Yeah, like the Waco standoff. Fuck yeah. Dude, you saw what they did in Waco, man. They burnt that motherfucker down with everybody inside. I think Rumsfeld was part of that shit. Let's see. Any platform that institutes censorship by creating algorithms and to skew search popularity results, or by penalizing its creatives selectively, turning off their revenue streams, is wrong. I agree. Actually got bored watching after like 50 days of like live broadcasts. Oh yeah, for the Waco compound. Fuck yeah, dude. Dude, I remember that shit. I was live then. I was watching news back then. I carried on for a while, and they burnt that motherfucker down with everybody inside. Then they tried to lie and say that, oh, they set the fires themselves. Like, it's those people inside that set the fires. Nope, they got it on video of them throwing like incendiary grenades inside. What was that over anyway? Like, I forgot like why they were in the compound in the first place. Like, what were they doing? Like, I don't remember. Not that it really matters, but yeah. White people being white people, And see, there's my hypocrite in me. Like I say, we shouldn't judge people, but like I often say shit like, oh, dumb white folks, white people being stupid. Like I'm guilty of it too. I'm not happy about it. Like I have my own levels of bias. Like again, I don't hate white people, but like I poke fun at white people from time to time. But like I shouldn't. So here I am saying right now, that I shouldn't do those things. Ruby, next time you're in Portland, I owe you a beer. You have more balls than me right now. ATF inspection. Oh, that's right. It was an ATF thing. Wicked Division where gun to. Okay, yeah. Shit was crazy, yo. Kind of reminds me of, remember that? Wasn't there like some other compound in Texas where like they found a bunch of kids and like 5 dudes and like 50 women that live in there? What was that one? That was a couple years ago. World's crazy, yo. World's hella crazy. We're just trying to get by, and there's like all these like, deep state operators, trying to sway shit. Anywho, yay, I actually streamed for 31 minutes, and shit didn't go bad, so awesome. But I gotta go. I got a meeting in a little bit, so thank you guys for watching. Totally appreciate it. I will be streaming tomorrow.
Attention, train 257 approaching.
257's coming. So I will be streaming tomorrow at the San Jose demonstration against pedophilia in Hollywood and the demonstration against far left-wing violence, which I expect far left-wing violence to take place. I know, dude, they're gonna throw piss at us and shit and fight. So cops are gonna be there, but even when the cops were in Berkeley, which were far more prepared to deal with shit, I still got punched and I still had people like throw piss at me. So, maybe I'll wear a raincoat. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. Hit me up on the Twitter, and do those things. Definitely follow. All right. I might come back tonight too. So follow and hit the bell, and say goodbye to the train. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.